If anyone needs, I have it on this, on Safari.
Marty, come in.
Yeah.
I'm going to manage this.
Okay, if you need this, use it. We can move. This is Likutey Halochos, seriously, and it's not difficult. If I'm going too quick, let me know, but we'll try to move. This is Halochos Shluchin, Halacha Hey, which is based on the last shir that Rabbi Nachman gave during his lifetime. This is Rosh Hashanah, Tov Kuf Ayin Aleph. He's about to pass away, 10 days later or so he passed away from heavy tuberculosis, and that's when he gave this shir, Likutey Halochos, where he spoke, where he was spit. Rav Nasan came into the room where he was, and he saw a big thing. Where did you put that big place? A thing like that full of blood that Rabbi Nachman had coughed up. He had tuberculosis and he was about to die, and he had coughed up a whole thing of blood, and he says to Rav Nasan, what should I do about giving a shir? And Rav Nasan said, Chas v'shalom, kill you. He said, but look at this, there are so many people here. There were like 600 people, which in those days, for Breslov was, incredible. Rav Nasan said, who cares? Who cares? I don't care about people. We want to keep you alive. He said, but I've been waiting for this from the whole summer. I was waiting for Rosh Hashanah. And Rav Nasan saw that Rabbi Nachman really wanted to do this. He understood. So he thought for a minute. He said, okay, what we'll do? We'll position your chair in such a way that it'll be not in the middle of the shul, but right over here, the entrance to this room. So if chas v'shalom in the middle, things that in 1 second you're out of the room, you're into this room, So Rabbi Nachman turned to the wall and he said, ready. And Rav Nasan writes, he meant ready. I'm ready to put my life on the line to give this shir. Literally, he knew he was taking his life into his hands. Chas v'shalom start spitting, coughing up blood. And he spoke, I think, for maybe about 2 hours. Likutey Halochos is like 10 pages, tremendous, incredible shir. And this Likutey Halochos is based on that Likutey Moran. This is one of the famous chapters in Likutey Halochos where he addresses the topic of the tzaddik and how it relates to us searching for the tzaddik. Exactly what does that mean, Generally, we have this rule that if a person makes a shliach to do something for him, it's exactly as if he did it. Those are learning Daf Yomi now, Gittin. The Baal can make a shliach to deliver the get, and the woman can make a shliach to receive the get, Ki mevoyer b'haTorah Likutey Halochos b'Likutey Tanina Siman Ches she'ikar ha'emuna al yidei birur hamedameh shemizbarer al yidei b'chinas nevuah v'ruach hakodesh HaMashiach. It's important to understand. This term medameh. Medameh means, the word medameh has you need at least 10 English words to define it properly. Medameh can mean sheker. Medameh also means like a mixture of good and bad. The Eitz Hadas is called medameh because it's good and bad put together. Twilight, where they say that's the most difficult time. Driving at night or during the day is less dangerous than driving at twilight, because during the day it's light. At night you use your lights, you use your brights. But twilight you can be fooled easily because it's not dark, but it's not light either. And it's easier to misjudge at that time than any other time. That's this term medameh. Medameh can also, Rabbi Nachman writes in a place that the Medrash says that the Yetzer Hara has 7 names. He said we got to give him an 8th name called Koyach HaMedameh, because that's what he's really all about. His job is to take good and make it look bad, to take learning Torah and doing mitzvahs and make it look difficult. It's called Avodas Hashem. That's called Avodah. Picture telling a guy, come to my apartment to pick up a briefcase for $100 million. Would you call that Avodah? I had to, you dance all the way there. That's called Avodas Hashem. And Gashmias, Taivas, and those things are called fun. That's called pleasure. Ta'anugim, that's pleasure, in this upside down world. And Rabbi Nachman speaks about this concept of medameh in a number of different places where he defines it. So this is one of the places where he says our mission as Yidden is birur hamedameh, meaning we are faced constantly with this confusion, we're in a world where there's good and bad, there's a Yetzer Tov and Yetzer Hara fighting it out. And the Yetzer Hara is saying, I'm your friend. This guy wants to give you a lousy life. No fun, no pleasure, no this. Instant gratification, that's me. I'll show you ways to enjoy every second of your life, that kind of thing. And our mission is birur hamedame, to be able to sort out the good from the bad within this world. In this world, because again, the Gemara says 1 hour in this world is better in certain ways than the whole Gan Eden, because in Gan Eden, Olam Haba, you can't do mitzvahs, here you can. This is the land of opportunity here in this world. So he speaks about the fact that the way, in order for a person to come to real emunah in Hashem, they have to do birur hamedama. They have to be able to sort out the truth from the sheker in this world, the good from the bad. And he says that the way that happens is through ruach nevuah, ruach hakodesh. One example of ruach nevuah and ruach hakodesh is matan Torah on Har Sinai. When the Yidden stood at Har Sinai, it says, Ponim beponim dibra, Hashem spoke to us face to face. We were all on this madrega of Nevi'im, mamish. And it says, the Gemara says, Paska zuamas hanochash. The tumah that the Nachash originally injected into Chava, which lasted for 2,500 years, when the Yidden were at Matan Torah, it stopped. Why? Because they got Nevuah. They got this blast of Nevuah, Ruach HaKodesh, which zapped the Medama. The Medama is gone. But then a short while later, they got involved in the Egel HaZahav, and the Medama came back stronger, stronger. And he's telling us that our mission in this world, our mission is Emunah. Kol mitzvaysecha emunah. The Gemara stresses Yiddishkeit is all about emunah. To get to emunah, you have to know you're going to have to deal with this medame problem, this challenge called medame. And the way that you zap the medame is through ruach hakodesh, nevuah. Another word for that is the Torah. The Gemara says there are 10 levels of nevuah, and the Torah is aseres hadibros. The aseres hadibros are a form of nevuah, of ruach hakodesh. That's Hashem speaking to us through the Torah. The tzaddikim speaking to us through the Torah, right? That's called Shechina Medaber. The Gemara says that the words of the Gemara were Shechina Medaberes Mitoy Groinam. The Shechina spoke through the throats of the tzaddikim. Any questions? Okay, now we begin. V'zeh Yodua Umavur Kfar B'dvarenu Kama Pamim. We spoke about this many times. She'ikar Klal Kol HaTorah HaKdosha Hu Emunah. Kol mitzvaysecha emuna. All the mitzvahs are an expression of our emunah in Hashem. That's Ukamasham Rabbi Senazal bo chavakuk ve'amidon alachas v'tzadik be'emunasa yichya v'alkein b'chol ha'Torah shluchay shel adam kamoisai. Why? What's the connection? Ki ikar hu emunah shiklal ha'Torah hi al yidei birur hamedame v'hamedame. He says now that this term medame is a shliach, a messenger. Why? Ki hamedame hu shliach hasechel. Medame is a messenger. He's got one of the definitions of medame is imagination, fantasy. Which is again the Yitzhar, all about fantasy island, fantasy, making these things that are baloney, making it look like the most attractive thing in the world, and it's nonsense. So he says here, Ki hamedam u'shlech ki haseichel rochoik mikol yedias hagashmias. A person's seichel, which is a person's neshama, we say shahaneshama shebamoichi. The neshama is the furthest thing in the world from gashmias, from shawarma, from ice cream, from that kind of stuff. Rak al yidei hamedame shehu koyach shel haseichel. Medame is like a bridge between the Olam Hagashmi and the Ruchni and the Neshama, the Seichel. Rav Nasan sometimes says Medame is the lowest level of Seichel. There's intellect. An intelligent person sees, I'm going to use a rough term, sees a prostitute, and he knows what it is, and he's not stupid enough to endanger his olam haba, his olam hazeh, to throw away his wife and kids and his whole, for this thing. But we see, I give an example many times, I remember maybe 20, 30 years ago, the governor of the state of New York was a guy called Spitzer. He was a multi-millionaire, very, very successful guy before he became governor. To be governor of the state of New York is bigger than the King of France. The whole France. New York is the financial center of the world. Seriously, no? Imagine this guy forfeited. He would jeopardize his job, everything for this. How silly could, Elamai, again, Medama, the Yitzhahar has the ability to magnify this, to make it seem like the ultimate pleasure, and to shrink the importance of everything else in your life, that a person should be willing to jeopardize everything, for this. So that's why Medama is called like the bottom of true intellect, of seichel. V'alkein shom bebechinas hamedame shom iker habechira. Why? Ki bepnimius haseichel hu amiti ein shum bechira. In your real seichel, in your real intellect, in your neshama, there's no bechira. So let somebody offer ice cream to the neshama. The neshama spits on it. The neshama has no interest at all in anything that's not holy, that's not meaning, that's not eternal. Ki pnimius hasechlo amiti rochoik mikol hatayvos hagashmius umikol hamidos rak dofuk b'shleimus b'Hashem Yisborach rak machma she'ein lahasechel tfisa v'gashmius. However, because the seichel doesn't have any real kesher to gashmius, kim al yidei koyach hamedame, other than through this intermediary called koyach hamedame, shehu shliach haseichel al yidei zeh kol koyach habechira. That's what enables this process of bechira. Ki b'hamedame yecholen lehisaches tu'usim harbe al yidei shehu medame milsa lemilsa. In this medama, that's where there's room for error, because you're comparing things. This looks good. This looks good. This is attractive. This is attractive. That you follow what he's saying?
I don't know what the Madama Milsa, the Milsa, it seems like it's a core point.
Madama's, that's a term that's used, the whole limit of halacha, let's say. In Shulchan Aruch, it doesn't talk about electricity, this, that. How do Rabbanim know what the halacha is about electricity? The answer is by learning what the Torah says about Eish. A person has to use his intellect, his moyach, the dusha, to be able to compare, this would be like this. And to make that, to come up with a true, accurate answer of what the halacha is. That's within Torah. Now within Gashmias, now again we're told Olam Haba, we're told is a pleasure, the pleasure of Olam Haba. It's something we can't imagine. Nobody has seen it, nobody knows. The Yetzer Hara shows us in this world, on the back of the Coca-Cola trucks, Coke is life. You see a person with a gigantic smile, when they used to advertise cigarettes, you saw this tall, handsome guy with a beautiful big Stetson hat riding on a beautiful horse, and he's smoking a Marlboro cigarette, and wow, that's...
But when we're buying Coke now,
exactly.
We're not buying it because of that, we're buying it because just the body feels good having the sugar.
Exactly.
So I'm saying there's some stuff that we do with the calculation in our mind, okay, if I make that money, I'm going to be happy.
Yes.
But most of the stuff is not Madama Milsa.
Yes, it is. It's sugar. Sugar is a pleasure. It says it's a heart. And again, we're told that this gives you energy, but it's a fake in it. The Shulchan Aruch begins with Yizgaber Koari Lamod Baboiker, that to be an authentic Jew, you got to get up like a lion. You need to be strong. And Rutz Katzvi, run like a deer. The Yetzer Hara says, come with me. What? Forget Coca-Cola. I got this little pill here, man. You take this. You're going to be able to run 10 times as fast as a guy drinking. It's not going to be like 100 bottles of Coca-Cola. Right? Right or wrong? You understand what I'm saying? That's this being Madama compared, this is strong, this is strong. This makes you strong, this makes me 100 times as strong. This wakes me up, 100 times. This helps me sleep even better, Ki b'hamedame yecholen lehisaches tu'usim harbe al yidei shehu medame milsa lemilsa v'hi b'chinas eitz hadas toivara ki shom b'hamedame iker achizas hora al yidei hatu'uyos v'hashkorim sheyesh lem koyach lesaches b'hamedame kimuvan kol zeh bekama b'kamis b'dvrein, as this is discussed in many places. Again, a person has a dream at night. And while he's dreaming, it looks so real. It's so real. Like, well, sometimes a person has a dream, but the person wakes up and realizes it was nothing. It was small. It wasn't. zero, nothing. Well, I can't believe how it looked so real. And that's the story here again. Why do people make mistakes in this world? Why did it get? Because it looked so real. It looked like this was true love. This is the ultimate in this, and it's a joke. It's mamish a joke. The Satan made a complete fool out of somebody. Guy was prepared to forfeit, to destroy a whole lifetime. Rabbeinu Zal says for a 15-minute what? Ve'ikr tikkun hamedame sheshom ikra b'chira hu rak al yidei ruach nevuah. In order to fight this medame, you need ruach nevuah shehi klal haTorah, which the Torah really is. Shaydei zeh mizbarer hamedame shu birur ho'emunah shehi ikra haTorah. That's what the Torah is all about. Opening my eyes to know what this is and what that is. That this is instant gratification. But this comes, a bitter pill, you know. On the outside it's sweet, on the inside it's marmi movis, you know, that kind of thing.
I'm saying,
go ahead.
Pleasures give you more euphoria than the Torah today. Meaning, unless you're in a different level.
Exactly.
So, for a guy like me,
yes,
anybody, I mean,
yes,
maybe guys even higher level. I mean,
yes.
you can't compare the euphoria of a taiva to the euphoria. Because after learning Torah, I don't know, you do feel good.
So listen to
but
this.
You can't. It's not so.
I have a baby, and the baby is 6 months old or a year old, and I have different types of baby food. I have the sweet potato and the carrot, and I have the custard, the custard thing. And when I bring out the custard, you watch that baby eating the custard. Whoa, he's in Gan Eden. That little baby is in Gan Eden having that custard. Could you picture an 18-year-old giving that to my 18-year-old kid and saying, look at this. You see that smart? This'll put this'll put gas into your tank. This little baby food, you know, you hear what I'm saying? When a person's on a madrega of baby, the pleasures of an ice cream, that's their definition of pleasure. A person gets to a little bit of a higher level, they know what ice cream is, but that's no competition at all for a half hour of Likutey or a half hour of Hisbodedus.
So if somebody's, let's say, hooked on weed or this or that, and how do you extricate yourself from that pleasure, that ecstatic feel, that ecstasy feel, and say, Likutey Maran? I mean, it's just not reality.
Yes, it is. And I'll tell you, when I met Rav Rosenfeld, I was 16 years old. I was in high school, a modern Orthodox high school, BTA, and a typical Sunday was we'd go to school till 1 o'clock, get home 1:30, eat lunch, 15, 20 minutes, go out, play basketball for 5-6 hours, come back, have supper, go downstairs and watch TV for 2-3 hours. And that was Sunday. That was pleasure day. You know, I met Rav Rosenfeld and I started hearing Torah. It was a process. It wasn't. I heard one shir, all the lights went off. I started hearing, and I went to Torah B'Alpha. You know, I knew what Chumash is. I knew what Gemara is. It's not like I was able to learn Gemara when I started learning Gemara in 5th grade, 6th grade in Torah B'Alpha. I knew how to learn Gemara with Tosfos, this, that. But I met this person who, although clean shaven, looked like Clark Kent, you know, I compare it to, looked like Mr. Regularity, and suddenly I saw like I met the Arizal. I met a person like who really, really has it, like he really has Torah and Yiddishkeit on the highest level. And gradually started getting more interested. First I went to one shir, then I heard that there's 2 shiurim a week. I started going to 2 shiurim. Then I heard he gives a shir on Shabbos. And I said to my friend, you go? He said, yeah. I said, like, you sleep over it? No, I walk. How long does it take? About an hour. And he said it like going to the fridge to get a glass of, you know. I said, really? Can I go with you? And I remember this was not me. This was not a big tzaddik inside. This was Hashem literally reaching out and saying, come with me. You know, it was an invitation. And again, I started doing it. And that started being it was a gradual process. And I remember one time, after a couple of months, I met one of my friends I used to play basketball with, and he's like, where are you? Where you been? And I looked at him, and I thought to myself, I can't tell. He has no idea. He has no idea where I've been. He has no idea that I met the Aris, that I met, not that I'm allergic to basketball, but I'm in a completely different place, completely. I've tasted something, I'm not in baby food anymore. I'm eating, real carrots, I mean it seriously, that kind of analogy. It was a process, and again, it's a zechia. Rabbeinu Zal tells the story of a Ben Melech, Ben Shifchash, and it's a prince and a pauper that got switched. And Rabbeinu Zal explains that's the guf and the neshama. The neshama is the prince. The body is is an eved. It's an eved. It's, picture a person, you put gasoline into the tank to have the car, that the car should go. Picture a person saying, wow, this thing gasoline, if this is what helps my car drive 500 miles, forget putting it into the car. Put it right in here, man. Imagine what it's going to do for me. Gasoline, real gas, high octane, the premium. I want the seriously.
Nasan, it was a simpler time when you met in Rosenfeld.
Yes, in some ways.
Again, the height of the Yitzhak was going to play basketball.
Also your age.
Like today, Alavaya kids would be out there playing basketball.
Exactly. They have these challenges.
So if
True.
one's Meshuka and those tivus, how do you then, in like tivus that mamas draw you in and stuff like that, how do you then extricate yourself?
We're going to get to that. He says right now here, he says, the tivus on Adana, the solution is Ruach Nevur Ruach HaKodesh. Where do I get that? He's going to tell us. There's a tzaddik. There's a tzaddik who is a factory of Nevuah and Ruach HaKodesh. He's pumping it out. And if you connect to the tzaddik, you're going to get it.
If we would really find Torah sweet, we'd be learning.
Exactly.
The Harav doesn't work. How sweet is it if it's so hard to do?
The answer is, it can become sweet. So I'm telling you again with myself, here again. I wasn't into,
You're saying it could become custard.
100%. I really mean it. I really mean it.
Hey, Halavai Hashem, help.
That's not a joke. That's Vaharav Noah. It's very real. And why do I have to daven for it if it's sweet? Because I'm in a world where I'm standing on my head. I'm upside down. I'm in a world where he says that's sweet. That's called avodas Hashem. That's called hard labor. They send the guy to prison. Labor camp. That's Yiddishkeit. That's Torah and Tefillah. Avodas Hashem. You want pleasure? Television, movie. Right? Yes or no? I'm saying I'm being serious. Okay. ועיקר תיקן המדמה, ששם גם חייר, הוא רק על ידי רוח נבואה של כלל התורה, שעל ידי זה מסברר המדמה, שהוא בירור האמונה, שהיא עיקר התורה. ואז נכלל המדמה בהשכל, and then the מדמה plugs into the שכל, שזה עיקר השלמוס והתיקון, שהמדמה יסקשר ויסבטל לגבי השכל האמיתי, that this power of fantasizing should go into the seichel. Fantasize about doing mitzvahs, about going to Eretz Yisrael, about going to...
Sign me up.
Exactly.
I think we all want to be signed up.
שזה אי אפשר קיים על ידי אמונה, שזכן על ידי נבואה ורוח הקודש. ועל כן, בכל התורה כולה, שלוחי של אדם כמו ישראל. Why? כי זה כלל כל התורה שמסקיימת על ידי השליח דייקה, דהיינו על ידי הכוח המדמה שהוא שליח השכל, שכל מצוות התורה על יודי דייקה. He's going to show us in a minute how all the mitzvahs are not being done by the neshama, they're being done by the body. כגון tzitzis or tefillin, where are we? Yeah. כי כל המצוות הם בדברים גשמיים, כמו tzitzis ותפילין וארבע מינים, כדי לקשר כל הגשמיס לשורשם. It's all about taking this physical world, all this medame, and plugging it into seichel, into the neshama, into kedusha. שזה עיקר יסוד כל התורה. lekasher v'lichlol hagashmius betachlis shoyrish haruchnius she'nichlal hakol b'sharosha b'Hashem Yisbarach, to plug everything into Hashem. V'chol hamitzvos nasan al yidei hamedame shu shliach hasechel. Why? Ki hasechel b'atzmoi rochoik mi ta'orei hagashmiyim. The brain, the neshama in the brain, has nothing to do with gashmiyus. It has nothing to do with anything physical or tangible. Rak hasechel mitzave lahamedame sheyasa hamitzvos begashmiyus. The sechel sends this lowest part of the brain that is connected to the olam hagashmi and says, "Hey, buddy, go ahead, go buy tzitzit, go, to connect to the physical world and to serve as the bridge between the physical world and the neshama, which is just pure spirituality, pure ruchnius." V'alkein be'emes ein tam al pi sechel ho'enoshi l'shum mitzvah. And that's why there's no real reason, materialistic reason or gashmi reason for the mitzvahs. I'm putting on tzitzis to stay warm. There's no real gashmius reason for it. Rakol mitzvahsecha emuna she'anu zeichen le'emuna shleima shenotu banu avoseinu v'raboseinu. How? Al yidei ruach nevuah shel Moshe Rabbeinu olav Hashem rabban shel kol hanavim. He's the one who really brought it down to all of us. V'yidei ruach hakodesh v'ruach nevuah shel kol hatzadikim shebechol dor. That's how they infuse us. Their ruach nevuah, their ruach hakodesh infuses us with this emuna. V'yidei zeh mizbarer ho'emuna v'anu mekaimim kol hamitzvos v'chol ma shemekayim hamitzvos yoser mizbar hamedame sham emuna b'yoser. The more mitzvahs we do, the more birur ha'emuna we do. The more we get purified, we get stronger. We're strengthening the neshama over the bechinas ve'rastichli be'emuna v'yodates. And through that, vayidei zeh oz nichlolin b'shoirish hasechel hapnimi b'Hashem Yisbarach. And through this, we plug into the real sechel. We plug into Hashem, as the pasuk says, b'bechinas ve'rastichli be'emuna v'yodates Hashem. Shekiyum ha'Torah na'asai de bechinas shliach shehu hamedame. Again, it's being done by the lowest part of the sechel. V'alkein b'chol ha'Torah shluchay shloim kamoisoi. Ki iker kiyum kol ha'Torah is through this shliach, which is the medame. He's calling the medame the shliach of the neshama. V'afal pikein mitzvah bo yoseh b'shluchay. And still, the Gemara says, even though a shliach can do this for you, a person can't go to the mikveh. This just came up yesterday or 2 days ago when I was in America. Somebody mentioned something about if a person can't go to the mikveh. We were in the airport. We were in the airport waiting for the plane, and we met this guy, and he was saying, "I'll do a tefillah for you." I mean, you'll do a tefillah for me. There is such a concept. The person can't go, and somebody says, "I'll be a shliach for you." But still, the Gemara says, still better if you can do it yourself. In most cases, it's much better if you can do it yourself. Mitzvah boy yosem b'shloim kikvar mavur shekol achizas hatu'uyos v'hashkorim hein bebechinas hashliach shomedama. That's the good and bad. That's where the potential for error is greatest. Umachmazeh bi'atzmoi kol kiyam Torah al yodai. And because that's this bechira place, that's where the real kiyam Torah is all about. Malachim don't have Torah; they don't have bechira. Ki ikar kiyam Torah hu daik al yidei habal bechira, ve'ikar habechira hu sheyesh mokoim litois, v'hu mizgaper lirdoif achro emes al yidei zeh ikar kiyam Torah. Ki b'mokom she'ein bechira, ein shayach Torah u'mitzvah kayadua. V'al kein bevadai mitzvah boy yosem b'shluchai. Ki afilu kishroitz l'kayim hamitzvah bi'atzmoi tzorech lizgaber ma'oid al tos hamedame shubchinas hashliach shebo yachizas hatos. When a person wants to do a mitzvah, the Yetzer Hara wants to tell him you're tired, all kinds of different ways to get him not to do the mitzvah, to make it weaker, that kind of thing.
How is one able to do a mitzvah without his medama?
He can't.
You're saying if you want to, if you don't.
He's saying you have to work hard.
Like there's an option to do it without the shliach.
Exactly, to do it myself, to go to the mikveh myself. That's what he means. You know, instead of having somebody do the mitzvah for me, you know, could you deliver this package, this tzedakah to this? I don't know. I'll deliver it myself. Take it myself.
Physical shliach, but the
Exactly.
medami still needs.
Exactly. מכל על ידי שליח, כי בוודאי כל מה שמסרה בהשליחוס ביוסר, יוכל חס ושלום התאויוס לסחס ביוסר. The more you get into the shliach mode, the more potential for error. כי כל אחיזס התאויוס בבחינת שליח וכנ"ל. וזה שאומר שיוכל לנו להשליח לתיקוני שדעתיך ולא אליו אפסי. This is the thing that comes up in the Gemara. Like the Gemara says, I can make a shliach to give my wife a get. Is that something that's really good for me or bad for me? On one hand, it's releasing me from my obligation to have to support her. But on the other hand, I'm going to be alone. And can a wife make a shliach to be makabel a get? The answer is there's a plus involved, because till now she was locked into this one guy. She gets a get, she can marry any one of 1,000,000 guys she wants. But on the other hand, she's losing out on getting the support. Right now, while she was married, this guy was obligated to support her, you know. So with shliach, there could be, you know, when I make a shliach to do something for me, there could be, and if I'm making you a shliach, I can cancel. The Gemara asks, if I make a person a shliach, if a woman makes a shliach to receive a get for her, and then she changes her mind, can she cancel it? The answer is yes. Why? Because she can say, I made you a shliach only to do good for me, not for bad for me. I thought that this was a good thing. I came to the realization it's not a good thing, I can cancel it. Ki ikar hashlichus hu she'yeh hashliach nichlal b'hamishaleach shu b'chinas klolius hamedame b'haseichel hamiti. Aval kishashliach ma'aves b'shlichusay. But when he messes up, batel shlichusay. Ki kishamedame einoi misnahe kefi haseichel hamiti batel umevuto. V'nechshav garua mibehema, worse than a behema. Ki kishamedame einoi misnahe kefi haseichel hamiti. Hu b'chinas ruach shtus mamish, the example that I gave, right? Shemisham kol ha'averes rachman litzlan, umisham kol ha'mishugoyim mamish, like Rabbi Elazar says in Torah Aleph, that a balavera is mishuga mamish. V'chol minei shigoyim shenimtzon b'roi v'anoshim, afilu le'ena mishugoyim mamish, rak oisim harbe dvorim shehem shigoyim, they do shtuyot, kenir b'chush. V'hakoil al yidei ha'tu'uyois ha'medame she'enoi misnai kefi hasechel ha'amiti. V'zeh b'chinas, this is what...
So we have a good excuse after 120. We tell Hashem it's a faulty messenger. I never blame the messenger. It's not a proper shliach. I only sent him for good.
But the messenger is me. Exactly.
Yeah.
The Gemara says in one place that when Hashem is going to want to judge, that He's going to bring the body and He's going to say, plead insanity.
Insanity.
Exactly.
Yeah, of course.
Exactly. The Gemara says Hashem is going to want to judge the person that He's going to call the
You'll
body.
testify to insanity, my insanity.
He's going to call the body, and the body's going to say, I didn't do nothing. I'm a dead piece of meat. The neshama did it. Hashem's going to call the neshama. Me, I have no shaykhus at all, tavera whatsoever. The Gemara says He's going to put them together and zap them. You know, chas v'shalom.
No thanks.
Chas v'shalom. והכל על ידי התאויוס המדמה שאינו נשנא כפי השכל האמיתי. וזה בחינס, this is what the pasuk says in Tehillim, Odom bikor bal yolin, that Odom Rishon couldn't even spend the night in Gan Eden. He got kicked out. Nimshol kabehemois nidmu. Yolin ze bechinas hamedame. Spending the night is referring to medame, shu bechinas chesh chas laila, bechinas shena. That sleep, when you go dreaming, that's medama, that's the night. Yikor zebechinas hamoichin hatfilin. Vikor in Megillah says so. Even when it's oira v'simcha vikor, it says is the tefillin, which is moichin. Hainu kishein hamedame nichlal baseichel bechinas odom bikor bal yolin. The odom is not putting the yolin into the yikor. Azai nimshal kabehemos nidmu. Then they're like a behema, nidmu medama. Va'ayin batoy tiku emuna simen hey oistes kimavur shamein zevir Rabbeinu Zalsne ayin sham v'hu pele. Now Rabbeinu Zalsne adds these two words v'hu pele, saying this is something amazing to be able to understand, really understand what's going on here. What's going on inside of me, these different forces that are battling it out. And again, am I really crazy? Am I that nuts that I'm going to allow this stupidity, this silliness inside of me to take over?
That's where we're at.
Yes. But
We're
again,
under the dictator.
do I want that or do I want to protest?
The Rebbe brings down place. Madame is the same also is with the Ma'achai. It's the same church as Dam and Damin. No, is that
Possible, yes. The dam inside of a person, the blood, the blood, the bad blood in quotes, the damim that's messed up. Okay, now he says, V'halkein ein shlichus, this is introductory, this is all leading up to the punchline, where he's going to say now, how do I get out of all of this? V'halkein ein shlichus la'akom, v'chein ein shlichus, you can't make a goy shliach, and also you can't make a shliach lidvar avera. If I tell somebody, to do an avera, he can't say, I was just a shliach. He's liable himself. Ki ikar Torah shlichus hu b'chinas hanal, nachma shekiyum ha-Torah al yidei hamedame, which is a shlicha d'sechel. Aval akum sherachoyke mi-ha-Torah, b'vadai ein bohem din shlichus. Ki heim kruchem acha hamedame hagashmi. They are totally in medame. Umarchikim hamedame me'asechel. They do not make the connection at all between medame and sechel, the goyim.
So what's he saying then? There's no shlichus, that means the seichel really is the madam? Meaning...
No. Ein shlichus means you cannot make a goy a shliach to deliver a get for you, to do something for you. Why? Because the goy is medame, is a type of medame that's not plugged in at all to seichel. You understand? It's a non-fit. It's a different plug. This is Android. This is the other thing completely.
I got it.
Okay.
So in other words, we could utilize our own medama to do mitzvahs.
We are.
Because it's between seichel.
Exactly.
But if you take a guy's medama, then
It's a type of medama. It's a type B medama that has no connection to seichel at all.
I guess that's always why the Rebbe talks about the noigas between the two,
Exactly.
and the other three are out.
Exactly. Another word for medama is noiga.
so our medama is like maybe a guy's medama is totally like
100%. 100%.
Like we also learned by food. Some foods can never be kosher.
Exactly.
They're the three
completely
klippos.
disconnected from.
They're what's
Onan Godo, Eish Mislakachas, and Ruach Sara.
those three can never be fixed.
Exactly.
The chashmal is the holy,
exactly.
and then between that is the noiga, which goes.
You
Exactly.
go either way.
And I always
So
say
we can only fix what's noiga. We can't touch anything
exactly.
that's.
You have this in all three areas of Olam, Shona, and Nefesh. Location: Eretz Yisrael, Chutz Laretz, Ever Hayardain. The Shluchin came saying, we have too much cattle, we can't go into Eretz Yisrael. He should have said, make shawarma. What are you crazy? You have too much cattle. Make a big barbecue. We'll get rid of all the cattle and come in Eretz Yisrael. Are you nuts? You want to live in Long Island because you have too much cattle? You don't want to come to Yerushalayim because cattle is the problem? But there's a secret here. That Ever Hayarden is this bridge. It's this Klipas Noiga. It's the part of Chutz La'aretz that can become part of Eretz Yisrael. We have the ability to take part of Chutz La'aretz and make it mamish into Eretz Yisrael. That's Olam. Shana, we have Shabbos. There's Shabbos and there's 6 days of the week. I have the ability to make part of Friday into Shabbos. How big a part? Starting from Plag HaMincha. Rav Rosenfeld taught all of his students, everybody looks at the calendar, what time is Lichtzinen? That's the last time for, what kind of stupid idiotic thing is that? That's the last time you're supposed to light candles. You're allowed to light candles from Plag HaMincha. Which normal person wouldn't want Shabbos in their house an hour earlier? To be Makabel Shabbos an hour earlier. Imagine what is, he taught our wives were taught to light candles from Plag HaMincha. Wow. That was normal. I mean it seriously.
Somebody told me there's a Rebbe that does Shabbos until Tuesday.
Oh, so 1 second. Yeah. B'di'eved, you're allowed, if you couldn't make Havdalah Saturday night, you're allowed to, But here again, but if somebody wants, if a woman says, I want to be machmir, I'm not, forget the plug, I'm going to light candles at 2 o'clock in the afternoon Friday. It's a bracha of Atala. It's a big avera.
From Shabbos at noon?
No. No, plug. They went to the mikveh at noon. It says Rabbeinu Zal right after, even when he was a kid, he'd run to the mikveh right after Chatzos, and that's what Rav Rosenfeld did. Mikveh always was, what time is Chatzos? Zap, to go right away to the mikveh. Because again, I have a choice of starting to take on that Neshama Yisera at 1 o'clock or at 6 o'clock. So there are different Hasidim who have all kinds of lumdus about going right before Shabbos, when the mikveh is dirtiest, when there's 600 people there, and when sometimes you don't make it, and v'chulu, v'chulu, v'chulu. But the Arizal, Rabbeinu Zal, this is what we saw, that they did it in the first opportunity. So I can make part of Friday into Shabbos, and I can make part of Sunday into Shabbos. I can extend Shabbos 72 minutes, 90 minutes, you're allowed. And again, Rav Rosenfeld taught all this to me. You don't run out of, what time is Shabbos over? What time is Shabbos? Who, nuts? We're sitting at Shabbos Shudas, relax. This is the holiest time of the week. This is this is Kodesh Kadoshim. I'm not looking to run out. What am I running to? What am I running away from? And what am I running to? There's a competition, between 1 more minute of Shabbos at the peak of Shabbos and putting on my thing to see who called me and who, That's there. And now we come to Nefesh. There's Yidden and there's Goyim. And there's Gerin. There's Gerin, which are this Medama, this Klipas Noiga. By Avram Avinu it says, Ki Av Hamoin Goyim Nesaticha. Hashem says, I appointed you a father over a multitude of nations. The first letters of Hamoin Goyim Nesaticha spell the word Noiga. You're the father of Noiga. That Avram Avinu and Sarah were able to look at a guy and see he's on Gadol. They had that tree, the magic tree, which if the guy was qualified, the tree spread its shade over him. If it wasn't, the branches went up. Yeah, it says this in the Zohar Kodesh. Yeah, that was that Eshel Avraham, magical tree, where he'd invite the guests to sit underneath, and he was able to see who's who. Look how everything fits together perfectly.
Cat's camp.
Exactly. They didn't need technology. Okay. אבל עקום שוכן את הרבד אין בהם שלו, כי הם כרוך מאחר האדם הגשמי ומרחיקים המדם המס. We can stop anytime we die, and seriously, somebody's like, go to sleep. Okay, seriously. כי נדמה להם...
We already rested for 2 hours.
Yeah. Sleep good, wake up new and improved. כי נדמה להם שהם חכמים ביניהם. The goyim, they think they're big חכמים. ובאמץ כל חכמוסם הכל על ידי המדמה, המטה והמערבב, which confuses and mixes them up, מאחר שאין להם רוח נבואה, כי לא קיבלו התורה ממשה רבנו, שהוא שורש ורבון של כל הנביאים. The goyim, right? ועל כן בוודאי אין בהם דין שליחוס כנ"ל, וכן אין שליח לדבר עבירה. כי על ידי העבירה נסרחק ונפסק המדמה מהשכל, ונחשב באמס משוגע ממש. כמו שאמר רבי סיינו לברכה, אין אדם אוהב עבירה, אלא כן נכנס בו רוח שטוס, become crazy. כי כל העבירה יסבוים על ידי בלבול המדמה, על ידי שאין המדמה של השליח מקיים ציווי השכל המשלח. He's going off on his own. He's not doing what he was told to do by the sechel, by the real sechel. Shezehu hepech mikiyam haTorah. V'al kein bevadai ein boi din shlichus kanal. V'chein ein shlichus lekoton. Ki ikar hakatnus hu bechinas moichin de katnus. Shesham his gabrus hamedame keneged hasechel. Like kids who play with toy cars and mamish to them it's like, you touch his car, it's like you touched his $300,000 Porsche. Mamish, the same. Shezeh bon kol ma'aseh shtus she'isa hakoton shehu machmas his gabrus hamedam al hasechel v'al kein ein lo shlichus ki ikar Torah shlichus nimshach mikiyum haTorah she'ikra hu al yidei shehashliach shamedame yekayim b'shleimus das hamishaleach shu hasechel. Period.
So it seems like you have to have a messenger to the messenger has to have somebody that's sending him.
Exactly.
So in all these instances, there's nobody sending him.
Exactly.
You're not a messenger.
Or he's going against the one that should be saying.
Right.
He disconnected and he's going off on his own doing crazy stuff.
Meaning it's not originating from a
From seichel, from true seichel.
from a sender.
Exactly.
It's just originating from their own Nadam.
Exactly.
It's the true sense.
The body working on its own, or the koach hamedama of the brain working on its own, not really thinking, hey, is this what I really want to do? Is this what I really need? Right? I'm saying seriously. That term emes. Thank you very much. That, emes versus sheker. Emes versus medama. That term reality check. Yeah, they call it reality check, but they don't know what the real reality is. That the real reality is the Torah. That's the real reality. Okay. Now we have another little introduction before he gets into the real punch. This is the whole concept of business. Now, because Rabbeinu Zal explains in that chapter in Quran, shetzrichen levakesh ulechapes ma'oid ma'oid es hatzadik o emes sheyesh loi bechinas ruach hakodesh. And Rabbeinu Zal writes right over there that even though today, during his time, we don't have ruach hakodesh like by Moshe Rabbeinu, but in order for a person to be an honest leader of Klal Yisrael, he must have a degree of Ruach HaKodesh. He must have a Ruach HaCheres that's making him qualified to be a true leader in Klal Yisrael. Rabbeinu Zal says this very clearly in that Torah Nekudaman. Ki ikar hu emuna hu al yedei birur hamedameh. Ubirur hamedameh hu rak al yedei hatzadik sheyesh loi bechinas ruach nevuah. שיש לו בכנס רוח הקודש, שעיקר הוא אמונה השלמה, דהיינו אמונס חידש העולם על ידוי. To be able to believe that Hashem created the world yesh me'ayin 100%. כי עיקר הוא אמונה על ידי בירור המדמה, ובירור המדמה הוא רק על ידי הצדיק, שיש לו בכנס רוח נבוא רוח הקודש. ועל כן היה כל העולם תלוי עד שישה בסיוון. Hashem created everything. It was not complete. It was on shaky ground until 2,500 years later. Kama Shapir's Rashi.
It was in the first year Shisha B'Sivan.
Exactly, because it says Yom Echad, Yom Sheni, Yom Shluchin, Ravi, Yom Hashishi. So the Gemara asks, why? What's Hashishi? Doesn't mean just the sixth day of creation. It means the sixth day of Sivan, 2,500 years later, when Hashem gave the Torah. That's what put the finishing touch on the world. That's what stabilized the world. Until then, the world was shaky.
But it's not that the day of the first year of the creation of the world, Shisha B'Sivan, was already set aside as a special day.
No.
It's waiting 2,500.
Exactly. Sheboy kiblu Yisrael HaTorah v'chulu v'chulu. Ayin shom kol zeh heitev. Look in Likutey at how Rabbeinu Zal speaks about this. Ukvar kosavnu yizeh b'mokom acher sheRabbeinu Zechron Levracha koidem histalkusoi she'oz omar zois haTorah hanoiro b'Rosh Hashanah ha'achrayin v'oz achar amiras haTorah. Now his here oisi beyoser lichtoiv azchora gedoyla hazois shetzrichen lizoher benafshoy ma'oid ma'oid levakesh ulechapes harbe acharei hatzadik o emes sheyesh lo bechinas ruach hakodesh. Rabbeinu Zal was writing this when he had 1 3/4 feet out the door. He was gone, and he was warning Rabbi Nasan Zal, right? Tell them what they need to do. Ki ikar emunas chidish ha'olam shehu ikar hayahadus. Nimshach al yodoi daika. Only that tzaddik can really shine that level of emunah into Yidden. Ukemavor mizeh b'mokom acher.
So what he's saying is the world waited till Shisha B'Sivan because that's when they were mekusher to Moshe Rabbeinu.
Exactly.
Or Torah.
Both.
What's his point?
Both. Because that's when we got the Torah, which is the package of Ruach HaKodesh, Ruach Nevuah. And again, without Moshe Rabbeinu, you're getting a 1 billion for the Torah. Without the connection to the tzaddik, you're getting a watered-down version of the Torah. It's putting the Torah together with the tzaddik. That's the full impact. That's the ruach. You're getting the ruach nevuah, the ruach hakodesh of the Torah. וזה בחינת סבירה ושבוע, זמן מתנתרסנו, כי כבר כספנו שצריכים לעזור בזה מועד לבקש ולחפש אחרי צדק אמיתי כזה. וכל אדם שבעולם, מקוטן ועד גודל, the Rosh Yeshiva Bnei Brak, he's got, yes, צורך לזוהר בזה מועד כל יום, ולבקש ולחפש רבי אמיתי כזה. כי לא דיברה תורה במסים, the Torah isn't talking about corpses, idiots who are not interested in really living. A guy who's not looking to save himself at all, you know. How much we know that we spend so much of our lives on baloney, nonsense. And we'd be lucky if it were just nonsense. If that's not bad enough, these people were doing all kinds of averos. They're trying to make fun of the religious. They're trying to say the religious people are the problem. They're the problem. Especially against the really religious people. And this person doesn't stop to think honestly for a minute. How in the world do I have the chutzpah to make fun of them, to attack them, these religious guys, to tell them, get out, get rid of the charedim, get rid of the religious people. It's not a new thing now. This was going on during Rav Noson's time. Like the Navi spoke about this. You know, that again, these people who speak against the religious people.
What does this mean?
Let's see. Al tigash bi ki kigashticha. I'd have to look it up to see exactly what it means in the context over there. But it obviously means something about this kind of thing. There's a famous story to Baal Shem Tov, that when the Baal Shem Tov was in Istanbul, he was walking with his shamash there, they were on the street, and they saw two Turks coming towards them, and one of the Turks said to his buddy, let's cross the street. We don't want to touch those filthy guys. Like they don't want to accidentally touch the Baal Shem Tov. Imagine the kukuness of this piece of filth. He has no idea if he would have touched the Baal Shem Tov, there would have been a ticket for his, and that's this upside down world. V'lanashim ko'elu ein shayach azhara now. Those kind of people, what I'm saying here, Rav Nosson says, doesn't apply. Ki yischaku v'yisloitzitzu gam me'azhara azois gufa. They'll make fun of this. V'chol ma she'emru lehem divrei emes v'tzedek u'musar haskell v'nifla yaftiru b'sofo yoniu roish b'leitzonos kfulo mechupeles l'ras nafsham. Achaf al pikein. However, despite that this stuff is going on, ein doer yosoi min ha'emes lagamri. There will never be a generation that doesn't have any emes. Ubechol davador, ubechol eis nimtzoim tmimim uksherim ktsas hachosem al nafsham hachafetzim umizgagim leyire shmo yisborach asher aleim nemer. About those people it says ho'aniyim v'ha'evyoinim mevakshim mayim vayim. These poor people are seeking water and they don't know where it is. Where is it? Uleshonam batzome nishte, and their tongues, they thirst. Shezen emar alechem umayim shel Torah, k'mo shepirish Rashi shom. Alehem val kiyotze bohem migodol shebagdoilim ad koton shebektanim. Alehem tzrichim lahazir ulahaskir azhor azois alofim pomim. We have to review this thousands of times. שיזכרו מאוד בכל יום ויום לחפש ולבקש הרבה es הצדק או אמס הנ"ל, שיוכל לסכנם באמס לנצח. ועיקר הוא אמונה שלמה. Powerful, the way he's just getting warmed up. כי אפילו מי שזויך, now listen to the punchline now. One second, I have a card, I'm a Breslover. I got my membership card. I'm already a Breslover. כי אפילו מי שזויך למצוא לעצמו רבי או חבר אמיתי שקיבל מצדיקי אמס דברי אמס המועילים לנפשי באמס. Person who found Rab Nasan Zal, and he found a guy who's giving him such stuff, the most powerful stuff in the world. Af al pikein adayin tzorech lechapes harbe b'chol yoyim. He's got to be searching every day. Ki afilu im hoyu kvar ma'asav mesukonim koroi. Even if he was ready, mamish, a good guy, he's not doing no averis, he's only mamish being very, very good. Tzorech gam kein lechapes oid void. A Jew never stays on one level. There's more, there's better and better and better.
So, meaning chapes what? So you're saying...
Wait, he's going to... Ki yodua she'ein ha'odam oimed. A human being doesn't stand in one place. Uchsiv, and there's a pasuk that says about the Torah, L'chol tichla ra'isi kates, rechava mitzvach moy. For everything, I see an end. But your mitzvahs are infinite. Mikol shkein v'kol shkein, she'roi v'roiv, ma'aseyem einam alam yafa. Let's get realistic. The majority of religious people are not 100% religious. They're not doing everything right. They're not doing everything so good. Bifrat be'itim halolu. Rabbi Nasan was talking 100, 200 years ago. Kasher yoidea kol echad benafsho. Like each guy knows that even though he's wearing a long coat and he's still got a lot of chisroinas. Al kein tzrichim tomed lechapes olavakesh harbe achrei hatzadik o emes sheyesh lo bechinas ruach hakodesh kanal. Ki bevadai, here comes the punchline. Ki bevadai ein hachipus habagosha achar guf hagashmi shel hatzadik. It's not about finding the physical guy. V'zeh tzrichim lechapes ki im achrei ruach hakodesh shaloi. I'm searching for the Ruach HaKodesh of the Tzaddik. I want him to talk to me. I want him to share that Ruach HaKodesh with me. Shaydei zeh ikar bir hamedameh. Shezeh tikunoi. V'zeh tzrichen lechapes ulavakesh tomid. Ki mamon avshach. Im loi mitzoi adayin klal. If I haven't found it at all yet, bevadai hu tzorech leil. If I haven't found the guy, if I haven't found the address, then bevadai tzorech leilech al yodov al raglov. You have to crawl on your hands and feet to search him. Don't tell me that, Mesiras Nefesh Mamish going to Uman now. You have to sit on a bus, on an air-conditioned, comfortable bus for 6 hours. Mamish, this is such Mesiras Nefesh. Hey man, get real. Guys used to walk for a week to get to Rabbeinu Zal. The guys who were tzaddikim, rebutals, they couldn't afford a horse and wagon. They would walk for a week to get to Breslov, to get to, and going on a horse and buggy. Try doing it on a horse and buggy when it's raining, when it's cold, when it's, seriously, you understand? So he's saying, Bevadai tzorech leil hayodo v'haraklav v'vakei shel chapsa b'chol koichoi. Sorry, b'chol ha'olam. I accidentally clicked something.
It's not good.
I got it.
I think it's not.
There we go. B'chol koichoi, b'chol ha'olam kuloi, to search the entire world, mikotzev ad kotzev, from one end to the other, kol yoma, for my entire life, asher chai al pnei adama, ulai yuchal limtzoi chaye nafshe l'netzech, maybe I'll find the address, al kol ponim yoim echod, oisho achas lefnei moisoi, and if I find him, the guy who's searching for the tzaddik, if he searches his whole life and he finds him one day before, he won, he succeeded. V'im kvar nidme lo shemotza es hatzadik emes, bevadai zeh tzorech levakesh lechapes oid yoiser veyoiser, ki yochai liya shehu yoshev etzel hatzadik, v'adayin oiroi choshuch etzloi, ve'enoi margish neimus amitas etzel. It's not sweet. I'm learning Likutey Moharan. It's not ice cream. Don't give me this. It's not shawarma. I like shawarma much better than this stuff. What are you telling me? That I haven't found it yet. I haven't found it. I haven't found the Likutey Moharan yet.
Does this apply for the Talmidim of Reb Nasan also going to Reb Nasan?
100,000.
Only the
100%. That's what he's talking about. 100%. And again, what are they searching by Reb Nasan? They're searching for the Ruach HaKodesh of the Tzaddik, the Ruach HaKodesh of Rabbi Nachman. But again, one of Rabbi Nachman's Talmidim told one of Reb Nasan's Talmidim, you guys got it more than we did. You guys got it from Reb Nasan's better than we got it directly from Rabbi Nazar.
So does he talk about this in this one, about the Talmidim?
Yes, 100%. He said it in the beginning. Look at the wording. Let's go back to the beginning of the parable, where he said about going to the Vafilmi Shizochlin said that's my Rebbe or Chaver Amiti Shekibel Mitzadikei Emes Divrei Emes. You understand? He found a rabbi or a real good friend who received from the Tzadik Emes. He's got to search. He's got to search every single day. I want the Ruach. I don't want his. I want his Ruach HaKodesh. I want him to share those eitzes with me, and I want him to do it in a way that it goes into and becomes better than shawarma, better than basketball, better than You hear what he's saying?
So you could be sitting right by the tzaddik and that.
100%.
Did the
People
Rebbe say a
sitting.
mashal of one of the people that used to, was it the Rebbe that used to cross him over the water, or used to walk up here?
Because exactly,
Used to be
one
his
of
gabbai?
Reb Nachman Tulchin is once said to Reb Nasan, wow, I wish I could have seen the Rebbe. Imagine if I could have seen the Rebbe. If I would have known the Rebbe. So Reb Nasan asked him, who knew the Rebbe? Chaim the Parama, the one who took him across the river, on his raft, that he looked at him, he knew. That's called no. Reb Nasan said this to Reb Nachman Tulchin.
In other words, you could be physically spending time with the Rebbe.
Exactly. Knowing the Rebbe is knowing the Likutey Moharan, is knowing what the Rebbe was, what he really stood for. That this was a vessel of Ruach. He was broadcasting Ruach HaKodesh, broadcasting the Ruach.
Like it says, by Avraham Avinu, Ephraim didn't see in the Varas
Exactly. Two guys come, one guy sees nothing. Exactly. So you have to be so to see.
Be in the presence of greatness and be totally unaware.
100%.
Scary.
I told many times when my wife and I first came to Eretz Yisrael. So my wife is Rav Rosenfeld's daughter. I'm saying she grew up in such a house, everything. And they used to come to Eretz Yisrael every summer for like 10 weeks. And she didn't live in the house with her parents. They sent her to a family there and said she should be living Israeli, getting the language, everything. She spoke Hebrew, with mamish like an Israeli and everything. Not far from the house, her parents, We got married. 11 years later, we moved here. We made Aliyah. We got to Eretz Yisrael, which Rav Rosenfeld had spoken about so much, being Zocher to get to Eretz Yisrael. We get there, and different obstacles, and then the kids get the kids into school, and 1 o'clock in the afternoon, my daughter's knocking on the door, they're coming home from school. My wife says, it's not Friday, what are you doing here? No, here, girls only go to school till 1 o'clock. What am I supposed to do with you from 1 o'clock till 8 o'clock? What kind of crazy, ridiculous thing is that? And then suddenly there's no Sunday, there's no such thing as Sunday. Sunday, we can go to work, Sunday, family day, you could do, and a whole bunch of, when are we going back to America? When are we going back to America? When are we going back? It was incredible, and it went on for a while, all kinds of different things. So I went to 2 Rabbanim in Breslov at the time, at 2 different times. I went to Rabbi Nachman Burstein, and I went to Rabbi Meir Shechter, and told them both the story, and I went with Leah. Both of them told me a story, shared with both of us a story about the Basayan. The Basayan was a tzaddik who lived around the time, his whole life was Eretz Yisrael, and he lived in Chutz La'aretz. You know the story, okay? And he comes to Eretz Yisrael, and he's looking around, where's the light? And he doesn't see it. He figures maybe tomorrow, and then he meets the Meshulach, and he says, wow, you're the guy who was in my house. Because of you, I came to Eretz Yisrael, my whole family. He says, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov. He's walking away. He says, no, I got to ask you something. He says, you remember how you described this light in Eretz Yisrael? I'm here, and I don't see it. He says, then Rebbe, you want to see, you have to be Zocher. You have to be Zocher. He said, and it hit me like an atom bomb. how could I have forgotten? And I started pleading, begging Hashem, open my eyes, Hashem. Let me be zeichet to see. I'm in Eretz Yisrael. Let me be zeichet to see Eretz Yisrael. And he said, and yesterday I saw. That's what this banquet is all about. You're talking about the Basayim. You're talking about big tzaddikim. Seriously. So how much more do we have to be in this Hashem? Open my eyes. Let me be zeichet to see the light. Rabbi Nasan, it says, when he first met Rabbi Nasan, he went there at Friday night and he heard Rabbi Nasan's Torah and everything. At that time, by Torah of Dalit, Rabbi Nasan said whole Torah and nobody could understand what he was saying. He was on fire. Everybody went to sleep. Rabbi Nasan went to the Bug River, to the mountain where he's, and was screaming, Hashem, I see that there's an incredible fire here. There's a light here. Shine it into me. Let me be zeichet to get this light. Let me be zeichet to get this light.
Which Torah was this one?
Chaf Dalit. There's a chapter in Likutey that it says Rabbi Nasan said this on a Friday night, and Rabbi Nasan was saying it with such an excitement that they couldn't make out the words, like he was talking, like fire, 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 fire. And it was only after Shabbos that Rabbi Nasan sat down, Rabbi Nasan Zal, and he wrote it over.
And then he still says it's Amek, Amek, Amek.
Ki yochol liyos shehu yoshev etzel hatzadik va'adayan oiroi choshuch etzloi ve'enoi margish neimos amitas etzloi. There's a sweetness. I don't feel it. U'machmazehu rochoik adayan mitikunoi. U'kamashmavor b'torah v'yihei marikav, as Rabbi Nasan talks about this in Torah Yud Zayin. Ki ikar hachipus is not for the body. What am I looking for? I'm looking for the ruach hakodesh of the tzaddik. V'lozeh tzrichim yegir gedola v'chipus harbe ad sheyimtza. This is not fast food. This is not instant gratification. This takes work. This takes consistency. A person has to show that they're serious. Ve'im yechapes be'emes. There's a guarantee here. Hashem does not want us to fail. And the Gemara promises you will put in the effort, you will find. As our rabbis tell us. What time? 12 o'clock, Cinderella.
12 o'clock.
Huh? It's 12 o'clock at night.
It was 11, yeah?
One more paragraph. Va'afilu horav ho'emes biatzmoi tzorech lechapes ulevakesh harbe ad sheyuchal limtze ulahasik kedushas haruach hakodesh shel rabbi ho'amiti shekibel mimenu ad sheyimtzes atzmoi ad sheyeda eich ledaber uleyayitz ulahanig es am oni v'dalachoysim boi.
This is the Rebbe was searching for himself.
He's saying even a Rav Ho'emes has to search a lot until he's zeichet to find the Ruach HaKodesh of his Rebbe Ho'amiti, from whom he received from, till he's zeichet to find it. Until he's zeichet to find that Ruach HaKodesh. In Ad Sheyeda Eich Ledaber Uleyayitz Ulahanig Es Amoni V'Dalcha, until he'll be able to know and be qualified to speak to and to give advice and to lead the poor people who are depending on him. It's extremely difficult to help a Baal Bchira. Kiyim b'chazdei Hashem hanefloim mo'oid mo'oid shemamshichim hatzadikei emes avoy so'ilam shoichnei ofar. Those great tzaddikim, they draw these incredible chasodim from Hashem that are able to help, the people in today's times who need help. But it requires some help from down here. It requires us doing something from down here. That's the deepest thing.
That's the next
exactly. Is very, very deep.
guys who are curious.
Exactly.
Meaning not just people who are doing kiruv,
but to be the people to be emes lamito. Exactly. Because there's all kinds of kiruv, you know. There's doing kiruv.
That's a very deep.
Exactly. Utzrichen lo ze chipus ubakosha harbe, hein mehorav, hein mehachover, hein mehatalmid. Everyone's got to be searching. The Rebbe has to be searching, the Chaver has to be searched, and the Talmud.
We don't know what that is doing.
The answer is yes. It means a friend. A person has a Rebbe, a person has a friend, and a person has himself. All three. V'oz im tidrashenu imotzilcha. And if you take this serious, if you really search, you're going to find it. You are going to find it. And now he's going to go into Sfiras Omer and how it relates to Shavuos, etc., etc. Powerful?
Beautiful.
Could we just focus a minute on the Nakuda I'm just curious, of the Rav searching? Is he searching for himself, his own Ruach L'Kedusha? So like in the context of Rabbeinu, he had to search himself, his connection with whatever, Shimon, Ariyah Kadosh.
Seeking. Dear Shu Hashem, everybody is searching. Everybody. You read about Rabbeinu Zal. Was he searching? Was he his whole life?
It could be from Hashem, because Hashem, Moshe Rabbeinu got the Torah from Hashem. So if he was searching,
that's his Rebbe.
Because there's Torah Tikas Timo.
Exactly.
So maybe.
So the Rebbe is sort of searching for the Ruach HaKodesh.
I don't know. I have no clue.
Supposed to receive from Moshe Rabbeinu,
I'm theorizing.
Whatever.
100%.
It says also that B'Shum B'Yechai, the greatest things of his Torah was given by elders that came down to teach it to him.
100%.
Do we know?
Yes, we do. Achia Shiloini in the Tikkun Zohar it mentions different neshamas. Yes, the Sava Kadisha. Yes, and Pashas Mishpatim, Rav Hamnuna Sava who came down to give a shir.
The neshamas that were created before, not of the Shishim Riboy.
Exactly, Lamalami Shishim Riboy. Rabbeinu Zal has a Torah about that. The Bnei Moshe
so they came down to teach.
In the Tikkun Zohar it mentions actually that they sat down to learn and they summoned all the holy neshamas to come down to teach, to share Torah with them.
So wouldn't they be, if they're teaching Reb Shimon, wouldn't they be on that level of
that super high level? Yes.
I don't know. They're on a different higher level.
Yes. Because and also because they're already up there. They're not down here anymore. They're not in the Madam anymore. They're all the way up in Gan Eden, super high places. But again, Rav Rosenfeld stressed that in one time in the Zohar Kodesh it says that somebody called out, and they say called Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai by his name without the title. They mentioned his name, and Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai writes there, I know that this cannot be any human being. Only Hashem would refer to me by that way, would call me by that name.
What do you mean they called him by his name? That's
exactly, without the word Rebbe. And he said, I know that's not Eli Hanavi, that's only Hashem himself.
Who was Achia Shilani? The Baal Shem Tov also learned from him, right?
He was the Rebbe of Eli Hanavi. And the Baal Shem Tov at one point learned from him, exactly.
Where do we know, where's he brought down?
In the Navi Malachim. In the Navi Malachim it speaks about Eli Hanavi. That was his Rebbe.
It just says it in Malachim.
Yes.
So he was a Navi?
Yes.
A living,
100%. Yeah.
Wow.
Does he go on here to talk further about the tzaddik, the chippus?
Yes. This is one of the main addresses in the Halochos for this topic.
Shrine.
Exactly. We should be zachat to absorb this, to accept, to believe this, and to do our part. Each one is doing our part in this chippus. What am I doing here now? I'm going to the wedding of Benfit. I'm searching for the Ruach HaKodesh of the tzaddik here. How am I doing it? Through these physical, because this person has done certain things for Breslov that nobody else did. To put up this tent, the shul on his property that says Breslov New Hempstead, and the Kiddush, and sitting by the Sipurim Isis, and sitting by the Shalashudas, and all of this stuff. So hopefully by sharing in his simcha, I mentioned to a lot of people that I have a sefer on Chafetz Chaim al Pirkei Avos. And it says there on that first mission that the world stands on three things: Torah, Avodah, and Gemilas Chasodim. That's the first mission per Yodas. So the Chaim writes, today we don't have a Beis Hamikdash, so we don't have Avodah, so we got to be much stronger in the other two areas. And he writes, what's Gemilas Chasadim? He mentions two of it, attending somebody else's simcha. That's a form of Chasadim. Because again, it means kavod. If 200 people come, it was such a big simcha. If 201 people come, it's a bigger simcha. And again, if people come from local, people coming from New York, people coming from Yerushalayim, who have what to do, and coming to share in the simcha, to show respect, hakor satayv, to this person who has done such incredible things for Breslov. Besides what he did for Ben Sia, and this person, and again, a person who lost his wife. With all the hullabaloo, this guy has pain, lost his wife, and there were 3 kids that weren't married, and now Chazdei Hashem, 2 out of 3 hopefully going to be married successful. And with Hashem's help, everything he's doing for Rabbeinu Zal, the 3rd kid is going to get married too.
Amen.
Rabbeinu Zal said, whoever I take from, I give. The Rebbe should give him back. That's what we're here for now, seriously. The Shalakot, to make a Kiddush Hashem, I hope. And there's all kinds of other people that are going to be here. They're all special. Each one is special in their own way. But they don't have, not all of them have this stuff, right? Not all of them have this stuff. Baruch Hashem. Yours, seriously. You said you wanted to know about this. You said what?
Reb David Sears is
Good.
and also Rabbi Kramer mentioned
Chaim
about
also
the
brought up
Shabbos.
this.
People had a bunch of questions, and he said something. I said, "Where does the Rebbe say it?"
Right away.
I was like, I confronted him. He says, "Shluchin, hey."
With Hashem's help, we're going to finish it.
Yes, 100%. This will be our Khan Torah.
Traveling to no?
It's not stop. But seriously, in a place like this, who knows if they ever learned Likutey Halochos on this block? That we're learning the Rebbe's Torah at 12 o'clock at night. Baruch Hashem.
The reason we had to be in this Airbnb, we had to learn at this table. The Rebbe's Oyer had to come into this
You know how
apartment.
much cleansing this place needs? They host here for
Well, no, we don't know. We're here for a reason.
Exactly.
Ashreinu matei chokeinu shezachinu Ashreinu matei chokeinu shezachinu That's a first there. Nobody else said those words. No. Ashreinu Shezachinu Ashreinu Shezachinu
It's worth coming just for this.
I agree. And this is what we came for. Rabbi says, all right, it's a lot of places. The person goes on a business trip, and if he's smart, it's not going to be. He's going because he's going to meet someone, and they're going to be able to speak a little bit about Hashem. That's the tachlis. That's the
Custard is good.
Exactly.
Beautiful, mama. He continued. We're up to.
He's going to go into Sfiras Omer and Shavuos now.
Figure out where.